Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing. How you guys doing? Well, I want to do a video for you tonight on the EVO Mini Max, that Chatterbait, that Tackle Warehouse exclusive that just came out. I finally got them in the mail from Tackle Warehouse. I was, tracking my order, and all of a sudden I saw that it was delivered in Tennessee, and knew that wasn't the right place. And then I got a message or an email that my package was arriving like 2 days later. I was like, okay, so I guess they figured out the problem, and then it was someone else's order. So they definitely had a few orders screwed up there. I don't know how many altogether, but I know my order went to Tennessee, and the person that order was supposed to be for was from Arkansas. So I guess they're having some shipping issues there at Tackle Warehouse. And then my buddy had an issue with a rod he bought, not, getting a new rod from them, and you're making 5 casts, and then the rod snaps in half, and then give them a hard time about getting it replaced. So hopefully Tackle Warehouse will straighten out their issues, because I do like to order from there, but hopefully they'll straighten out their issues. But let me show you this bait. This is the EVO Mini Max, Tackle Warehouse exclusive from Z-Man, their Chatterbait. That Mini Max size, which I've just kind of gotten into. I just had the regular Mini Max that I had tied on to go fishing on Friday, and then I got these, and I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try one of those new ones that I just got from Tackle Warehouse. So I'll give them a shot. So I got 7 different colors here. I think they had 14 altogether. So let me show you what I got. I got all half. I prefer a ½ ounce. I throw a ½ ounce Chatterbait the most often. I feel like I can throw it farther. I just kind of like the feel of the ½ ounce. It comes in a 1/4 ounce, a 3/8, and a ½ ounce. And I've got the ½ ounce. And EVO stands for, I looked this up, guys, Elite Vibration Optimized. So if you see EVO, I believe that means that the minute that bait hits the water, that vibration is going to start. So we shall see. Excuse me. As I said, I don't cough all day until I start doing a video. But this is the Tackle Warehouse Green Pumpkin Watermelon color. I haven't even checked these out, taken them out of the pack yet, so we'll see how they look. See how much of a pain in the neck it is to get them out with those staples in there. Staples are flat across the table. Green Pumpkin Watermelon. So let's see. As I said, there's another staple in there holding it down. And the staple is going right through the hook. All right, there we go. All right, so far, let's see. These are, I'll try and give you the specs on all these. But as I said, this is, so it's like just a smaller chatterbait. I've heard a lot of guys say that they really like the Mini Max for smallmouth, so we'll see. We shall see. But I definitely like the paint job on the head. It's got a watermelon on the underside. It's got green pumpkin on top. It's got some black flake in there. The skirts are all hand tied. It's a 2/0 stronger hook than the regular Mini Max. It's got a nice bait keeper there. You guys can see that. That little. If these are a pain to get off, I will wait and do it after the video is over. Sometimes these little hook covers take forever to get off. A lot of times I just do this and just trim the one side, and then they just fall off. I'm not going to do that with all of them to lengthen the video. For the first one, I'll get this off here. All right, so now you can see the bait in full. So as you can see, it's just a really compact. It's pretty cool. It's a nice compact chatterbait. On the Green Pumpkin Watermelon, you've got a green pumpkin painted blade. We've got that heavy duty there snap for tying it on. Let me see if there's any other specs on the bait to tell you about. 2/0 heavy duty needlepoint black nickel hook. Direct head to blade connection. Heavy duty snap. Wire tied 100% silicone skirt. Hybrid molded and wire trailer keeper. So you saw the keeper. And highly detailed paint and skirt color schemes, and 3D lifelike eyes. Definitely has nice eyes on it. So that's it, guys. Nice looking bait. That's the ½ ounce size, so nice and compact chatterbait. Definitely gonna throw these around Friday. I did take a ride around today to check my local lakes. I drove about by, I don't know, 6 or 7 lakes, and the ice is gone. You know, there's a little bit that's still hanging around, like in the corners where it's kind of blown from the wind, but essentially they're all open. I can launch on any of them that I want to. So I got my game plan for Friday, and then the season will begin. Even though there's a chance of ice tonight, and then it's supposed to be 60 degrees tomorrow in the afternoon. So I don't, you know, crazy, you know, spring weather. But back to the bait. So as I said, that one was, I don't want to get these clips all over the place. That was green pumpkin watermelon. So that's a good looking bait right there. This one is the Hot Snakes color, which we can know if I'm talking about all those Z-Man soft plastics. That's a cool soft plastic color. Now when I look at these, I see, all right, oh, so there is a staple going right through over the hook. I'm gonna just pull that one out, and I'm gonna do this. I think it'll be a lot easier. Oh yeah, it's just a little bit easier. It'll just cut right through the cardboard. But the Hot Snakes color, so you've got, you know, wire tied skirt, green pumpkin, got some chartreuse, some, you know, not necessarily pearl, but lighter, you know, color. Got a gold blade on this one. It says the original Chatterbait right on it. Got that heavy duty snap. Nice paint jobs. I like when it says ½ ounce right there. If you put these in a box, you don't even get mixed up. You don't forget what size they are. Nice 3D eye. So it's got red in that eye. And you've got that bait keeper there for your trailer, which as you guys like, you know, I like to use a grub. And then that's just a little hook keeper there, or hook protector there, so you don't stab yourself when you're taking it out of the pack. But that Hot Snakes is a cool color. That might be the one I might try. I'm gonna have to go through all of them, decide which color I want to try tomorrow. But popping that one hook out and then cutting that in half is much easier. So when you get these, there's a hook or a staple that goes right over the hook. You just pop that out. You can just take your scissors and go right along the top of this packaging. Don't even worry about those other two. Oh, it would help if I told you the color of this one. The next one I'm going to show you is Bama Craw. Now this one I like a lot. That's kind of like a, I guess it's like a gold flake, a gold with a flake on there on the that Chatterbait blade is pretty cool. Gold there, like a brown green pumpkin on the top. Got your orange and green pumpkin and pumpkin skirts, different colors tied in there. That's a nice one. That's Bama Craw. Another good one there, Bama Craw. And remember, all these are ½ ounce. There's no way I'll remember all these colors when I wrap this video up. I'll just show them to you all again. I'll do my best, but I know I'm gonna forget. You know what I'll do? I'll put so that's Bama Craw. I'll put that there. That one is Hot Snakes. I'll put that there so I don't forget. I don't want these staples all on the carpet, so I'm going to throw those away right now. Try and be somewhat organized here for a change. I'm going to snip that off. There. And I'll leave that TW green pumpkin watermelon right there, so I won't forget the colors. I'm going to wrap this up. And I'm going to open up the garbage can so I can get rid of these and get them out of the way right away. Less mess. All right, that's better. All right. So that's 3 down. Let me show you the last 4 here. This color is just called Bluegill. And I don't know if that's giving you a real good look at that new packaging on that bait. That's what the back looks like. But the Bluegill color, ½ ounce. As I said, there's a hook, I keep calling it a hook, a staple that goes right over the hook. If you pop that out, and then snip these off, just get right to your bait. Comes right out. And I've got this little here to remind me of the color, Bluegill. All right, so let's check out this Bluegill one. That has kind of the same, there's definitely a flake in that Chatterbait blade. Yeah, it's the same as the one on that Bama Craw. Same blade as the Bama Craw. You know, you've got a really nice head paint job of chartreuse, a little orange there. If you guys can see that. Green pumpkin on top, a little, you know, green along the side. That's not a red eye on that one. It's more of a, just like a yellowish, whatever color. And then you just got some different, you know, greens in there, greens with different flake in them. A little bit of a, like a whitish there. And that one, again, is bluegill. It's a nice one. So far, they look great. We'll see how they fish on Friday, I'm happy to say. Not like all winter and said, well, I can't wait to try these out in 3 months. I could actually say, well, I could do it in a timely fashion. Okay, this one is, get that staple off there. Need like a staple remover to leave here on the table for these. Let's see, this one is Glitter Bomb. Glitter Bomb. That looks pretty cool. So now you're getting into more of your, you know, bait fishy type colors. Put that there so don't forget the color. Glitter Bomb. So let's see what we got here. Now you've got a silver, you know, with all that flake in there on the blade. Silver painted head, that like that yellowish type eye, and there's some flake in there, different color flake in that silver on that head. Your hand tied or wire tied skirt, little bait keeper, everything's kind of silver, and then that little cover on the hook there, so when you first get it, you're not harpooning yourself. But that's another cool one. Looking for something a little more bait fish like, maybe the water's a little murkier. Very compact chatterbait, so it'll be interesting to see how they feel in the water. All right, let's see these last two here. This one is Bama Bream. Bama Bream color. And as I said, I think they've got 14 colors, so this is half of what they have. I'm sure if I like them, I'll grab some more as time goes by. Okay, so Bama Bream. We have Bama Craw, and now we have Bama Bream. Let's see how different they are. All right, so Bama Bream. Tag goes right there. So in the Bama Bream, you've got a green pumpkin with like a gold and I guess purple flake on the blade. You've got your watermelons, your green, your pumpkin skirt, and then some like lighter color, bait fishy color on the bottom. I was going to see if it was similar to the bluegill, but not. So here is, just for comparison's sake, there's your Bama Craw, and there's your Bama Bream. So your crayfish color and your bluegill bream color. But it's pretty cool. It's like a brown underneath on that head. It's kind of like purple around the eye, which is kind of cool, and like a purple green on top of it. Oh, well, you can see that, but it's pretty cool. Definitely nice colors. And the last one I got is the Lava Craw color. Lava Craw. Oh, I was going to say this one doesn't have a staple on the hook, but it does. I know these crawfish color chatterbaits are very popular. I haven't done, I wouldn't say any better with them than other ones. I think it's good. I think they look cool. But this one's definitely a pretty cool. Was that Lava Craw? Yeah, it's a pretty cool color. I like the orange blade, that orange underneath, the green pumpkin on top of the head. The green pumpkin and the orange skirt looks good together. The body under here is the green on one side, the orange on the other by your keeper there. And you can see your hook. But it's a pretty good looking bait. I would say all 7 colors look pretty good. I'm just trying to think of the one I'm going to want to throw tomorrow, or tomorrow, Friday. I don't really anticipate a spectacular chatterbait bite after ice out, but I'm going to throw one around anyway. I will probably, could start with this guy, I suppose. The water's going to be, you know, it's a dark bottom lake. What's the water temp's going to be like? It was covered with ice a week ago. So my guess is if I have 40s, I'm going to be thrilled. It will warm up a little tomorrow after tonight's icy, rainy nonsense that has to come through. But, you know, it's not a deep lake, but, you know, the water's still cold. The one cove I drove by today still had a little ice in it, so, but that'll probably be gone by Friday. Not that it matters, it's only about 8 inches deep there. I don't really go back there anyway. That's more of a frog spot for the summer, to chuck the frog back a few times to see if there's anybody there. When it's you know, April and the water's freezing, it doesn't really play back there anyway. But it's a nice looking color, the lava craw. So I don't know if you guys have used these yet. Let me know how you like them, but they certainly look good. I'll see how they feel in the water on Friday. Let me check out these colors for you again one more time. Tackle Warehouse Green Pumpkin Watermelon. That's a really nice color. I may start with that one. Put a nice chartreuse grub on there. Swim that around. Good. Let's see. As I said, I would never remember these colors, so I'm glad I kept these. That's the Hot Snakes color. If you guys like that one, that's what it looks like. Hot Snakes. You know that's a good color of their Neds. And then we've got some of the craw colors. The Bama Craw. That's the Bama Craw color. This is the Bluegill color. Looks good. Looks very good, very good. Let's see, Glitter Bomb. More of a bait fish style color. Just like this Bama Bream. Good looking baits, nice and compact. And the last one I showed you, which will be the last one I'll show you again, and that's the Lava Craw. Lava Craw. So I don't know which one I'll start with here. I might start with that green pumpkin one, even though I do like something with a little chartreuse. So in that water, I know it's a dark bottom lake, something with a little chartreusey. I might go with that Hot Snakes, start with that, and see how I like it. So as I said, if you guys have thrown this new EVO Mini Max from Tackle Warehouse, their exclusive one. Tackle Warehouse exclusive. Elite Vibration Optimization, or Optimized, sorry, EVO. I never knew what that meant till today. And it's a Tackle Warehouse and Z-Man combo. Their new chatterbait, the Elite, I say Elite, the EVO Mini Max. That's that Elite Vibration Optimized Mini Max from Tackle Warehouse. They're all half-ouncers. That's what half the pack looks like after I chopped it in half. But I don't know if they're out of, I would assume, I don't think they probably sell Tackle Warehouse exclusives at any store, so you probably have to go online to get them. And hopefully they'll send it to you and not someone in Tennessee or another state that you don't live in. But it happens, I guess. Hopefully not too often. But that's it, guys. So that's the bait. I hope you enjoyed that little peek at it. If you haven't seen them yet, that's what they look like. But, you know, very compact. You know, they have the nice trimmed down skirt. Fits it bait perfectly. I think a nice, let me, one, I might have them right here. Oh, here they are. Let's see. Let's try one of these. Now, you guys know I like to use, usually I like one of the Kalin's 5-inch grubs. Let me see if the 5-inch might be a little big for this. I can always trim it down if it is, but that's a good way to find out. So let's say this one is chartreuse salt and pepper, a color I like a lot as a chatterbait trailer and a spinnerbait trailer. Let me see if that 5-inch is too bulky on there. Maybe I'll have to trim it down a little, or find some of my 4-inch grubs. Get that little hook protector off there. But as I said, nice, sturdy 2/0 hook. There's a better look at that hook for you if you guys are interested in seeing it. Now let's see if this 5-inch grub is just going to overwhelm the size of the bait. It looks like it might be okay, but then it's on there pretty nice. I don't foresee that being too bulky for it. Whoops. Or you'll have that nice tail swimming. Won't interfere with the vibration at all. I really like swim bait style trailers on chatterbaits. I don't want to interfere with this vibration. That comes back. I could maybe trim that down a little, but I'll start it with, like, this is the one I'm going to throw. I'll tie this one right on here later. But I'll start with that one. I'll see how it goes. If I'm getting a lot of short strikes and they're just grabbing at the tail, that would be great. That means the fish would actually be active. So in that freezing water, I would take it. As I said, I don't anticipate a great chatterbait bite on ice out, but I just want to throw these and see how I like them. I'll definitely, it's a really good chatterbait lake, so I'll throw it around anyway, just to see. See what kind of mood they're in. You know, maybe they'll be aggressive. That, you know, it's the most ice they've had over their heads in years, so, you know, they've had, you know, gosh, 4 months of darkness, so maybe they'll be so thrilled that they can actually see the light, they'll want to eat. So that's with a 5-inch grub. So you can see how far back, you know, it's about how far that goes back past the hook. We'll see. If I have to trim these down for these mini maxes, I will. But I don't know. I think that looks pretty good the way it is. This was the regular mini max I had tied on, and that was just a different color 5-inch grub. So, not too bad. We'll see. If I, as I said, if I find they're just hitting the trailer and missing the hook, but it seems like when the chatterbait bite is on, they just grab the bait. Not that you don't get little perch and stuff that are nipping at the tail of your trailer, but that's it. So that's how it looks, how I'll fish it with a grub trailer. As I said, 95% of the time, that's what I like to use. Every now and then I'll try some of those other style of trailers, but I always seem to do better with just a grub trailer. It's not, it just, with that curly tail grub, it just seems to work so good. But that's it, guys. So that is the new bait from Tackle Warehouse and Z-Man, their combo. I threw the thing away again. Show it to you one more time. That EVO Mini Max, Tackle Warehouse exclusive, in cooperation with Z-Man, making the bait together. So we'll see how they go. We'll see how they go. If I catch a fish on this Friday, I'll let you know. But I'll probably have my camera running, so you'll get to see it. That's it, guys. So hope you appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you liked seeing the new bait. It's always fun to try a new style of a bait or a version of it. And I was just kind of getting into that mini max size, you know, this year. So this will be a good way to see if I like it. See if I like it, because they're a lot cheaper than a jackhammer. So I like these, and the bass like them. I don't have to spend as much money on jackhammers. That's it. So that's it, guys. Any questions, let me know. Let me know. If you've thrown it and you like it or you don't like it, let me know. Share it in the comments there, and let everybody know what you think about it. Hopefully I'll have some, maybe I'll catch a fish on it on Friday. We'll see. But that's it. So I'll put in the description, I'll put a link to this on the Tackle Warehouse site. And as I said, hopefully they'll mail it to you and not somebody else. And try them out. We'll try them out. Try them out this week. And once the season starts, hopefully I can get on the water 2 or 3 days a week and start doing some on the water videos and trying some of these baits we've been talking about for 4 months. Because I love doing videos on baits and love talking about them, but I like to talk about them and then go fish them. I don't want to like just talk about them and then talk about another one and talk about another one. I want to be able to go out and go fish them too and say, this really works, or if you try this, this works, or, you know, and give you some tips on how to fish them most effectively. But that's it. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like this video. Please share it. If you're new to my channel, I am Mark. This is Northeast Bass Fishing, and I'd appreciate you subscribe. It would really help with the helps with all that algorithm stuff on YouTube. More eyeballs on the site and all that stuff. They really push the sites more when there's more eyeballs on them. So I appreciate all the views and the likes and everything and the comments. It's great. How the channel continues to just grow on a daily basis is really, you know, thanks to you guys. So that's it. So I'll see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.